Okay, have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on in your head when you're trying to find a word? Today, we're diving into that amazing system, your mental lexicon.
It really does feel a bit like magic, doesn't it? I mean, how can you find one specific word out of tens of thousands in less than a second? Well, it's not magic. It's actually this incredible, highly organized system of storage, association, and retrieval. And we're going to break down exactly how it works.
So how does this word-finding miracle actually happen? We're going to take a journey inside the mind and see how it manages to be a meticulous librarian, a brilliant web designer, and a super-fast search engine all at the same time.
All right, first up, let's step into the mental library. This is all about what we call lexical storage, which is really just the fundamental way our brain catalogs all the words we know.
Exactly. So you can just forget any idea of a simple A to Z paper dictionary. Your brain is a much more sophisticated librarian. It's filing words in multiple ways all at once.
That's because the brain is organizing words by at least two key principles. The first is semantics, the word's meaning. That's what links pear to other fruits. But at the same time, it's using phonology, the word's form, which links it to words that sound alike, like bear, care, and dare. It's this incredible parallel search happening constantly. And you can see this whole process play out when you just hear a single word. So imagine someone says they're eating a vegetable, and you hear that initial k sound. Your brain instantly activates words like cabbage and carrot. But the very moment you hear that next sound, that little your brain instantly lands on carrot. It's constantly narrowing down all the possibilities using both sound and context. So the words are all stored away, but they don't just sit there on a shelf. The second crucial part of this whole system is the incredibly intricate web of connections between all of them. And this is all explained by a theory called connectionism. Basically, it says that every time we use two words together, the neural pathway between them gets a little bit stronger. And, you guessed it, when we don't use them, that pathway gets weaker. This is what creates what we refer to as strong and weak links. Just think of it like a giant network of highways in your mind. The connection between afraid and scared, that's a superhighway, because we use them together all the time. But the link between, say, afraid and calculator, well, that's a barely there dirt path, because they almost never connect in our day-to-day lives. Now, this brings us to a process called spreading activation. When one word lights up in your brain, it actually sends a small electrical pulse along those highways to all the closely connected words. It kind of warms them up, which helps explain a really fascinating phenomenon we call priming. Priming is basically like giving your brain a little head start. As you can see here, if you see the word camel, it automatically activates all these related concepts. Because of that, your brain will recognize the word hump literally milliseconds faster than a totally unrelated word like bank. It's already been primed for it. So these connections form based on a few key types of relationships. We have semantic fields, which group words by topic. Then there are sense relations, like your classic synonyms and opposites. And finally, collocates, which are just words that tend to appear together really frequently, like salt and pepper.
Okay, so we've got the library and we've got the web. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, the unbelievably fast search engine that navigates this entire system.
So we have our library and our web of words. The last part is the search, and its speed is really determined by one single thing, the strength of the connection. This brings us to our final key concept, lexical frequency. It's a really simple but powerful idea. The more often you use a word, the easier it is for you to find it. I mean, it just makes sense. That's why you can retrieve words like the or and instantly, but you might have to search around for a bit for a less common word. And we can actually see the proof of these strong connections when we look at word association studies. This table shows some of the most common words people respond with when they're given a prompt word.
Now take a look at salt. The top response isn't ocean or taste, it's pepper. Why? It's not because their meanings are the closest, it's simply because salt and pepper is an incredibly common pairing, a high-frequency collocate. That strong link, that superhighway, means a much faster retrieval time.
So there you have it. That's the three-part system that allows for this linguistic miracle every single day. The words are stored in the library by both meaning and form. They're linked in a massive web of associations, and they're retrieved by a search that always favors the strongest, most traveled connections. Which leaves us with a really fascinating thought. This whole system isn't static, it's alive, it's changing. Every word we use strengthens certain connections and lets others fade away. So it makes you wonder, How are the words we choose to use today literally building the pathways for the thoughts we'll be able to access tomorrow?